Stanley, I hear that you are the acting CEO of one of the biggest cities, so it means the levies are also good. Your SETA covers a massive sector, which is the manufacturing and engineering sector in South Africa. So these are the heartland of apprenticeships. What is the single biggest challenge you face in getting employers, especially SMMEs, to open their doors for apprentices, and how are you using your discretionary grant funding to solve that?
You are correct. Manufacturing engineering sector has been, one of the sector that utilizes a lot of artisans. And it's now, there is also a changing trend from the automotive manufacturing side of things. There's automation being brought in terms of manufacturing. So therefore we then rely on your motor retail and aftercare of vehicles, because that sector or subsector still utilizes artisans. And majority of them, you are correct, are SMMEs. So we are using grants as a way to subsidize the training. And what we are saying is grants will not cover the cost of training. A couple of years ago, we did an exercise, to see how much it really cost to train an apprentice. And we know that the current, discretionary grant of 206,290 will not cover the cost. And I think it has to be understood that subsidy or, grant is a subsidy. It will cover part of it. Now we've seen our SMME struggle to cover the training cost related to occupational qualifications. There has been a cluster of them who, I would say, they wrote a petition to say 206 is too little. Can you increase? And I think the matter has been raised with the relevant body to consider the review of the training grant. But I think we must understand that part, and it is for that reason that we have a return on investment calculator that we have done as MESITA to cover I think 3 or 4 trades in our sector, to try and give them that understanding. And taking from presentation from Mr. Bupape, he says an apprentice will contribute to some return of investment for the employer, so therefore it's critical not to forget that. And I think we've forgotten about the SARS rebates. Nobody says anything about them. Yeah. So that has to help in that regard. So we obviously, for SMMEs, they also need some support of mentors. And we've never really defined, how do we support mentors at the SMME level, because it's very important that we do that. So we obviously are talking partnerships, but SMMEs is more than just a partnership they require, because they need to be handheld, they need to have special attention. And the advantage with SMMEs has been, a company will take 2 apprentices, and where will those apprentices end after attaining a qualification? They'll be employed, because they wouldn't go big, because they don't want to train for for the streets. And that's where I think going forward the focus is. The challenges of them complying with workplace approval, as an example, it's a serious issue because the occupational qualifications define the work experience modules, and therefore they must be able to offer all those modules as required. So they also come from, in our sector, a history where an apprentice was trained purely in the workplace. The training schedules will define what the apprentice must be trained on, and therefore once all the modules are successfully completed, then it then gives them access to a trade test without having to send them to a skills development provider. So that history is changing, and it's becoming one of the pain points for our SMMEs. So we'll continuously, obviously, advocate and find a way to support them as they really need our support. And looking at the economic outlook of the country, we will definitely rely on SMMEs.